It's McCabe and Jenny. We are backstage Lollapalooza, and now joined by Huddy. And hold on, we're looking at dogs. Let's talk. So, okay, you have 2 dogs. What kind of dogs do you have?
I have a Merle Pomeranian and a Merle King Charles Cavalier Spaniel.
So let me see what those look like. Okay.
Lady.
That is adorable.
Charles.
Is it like Lady and the Tramp?
Lady and the Tramp.
Okay, now I know. Okay, now I can picture it. Okay, perfect.
And we have Lucario, which is one of my favorite Pokemon.
But you almost named one of your dogs Chewy, which would be after Chewbacca.
Chewbacca.
But it was a girl, so you named her Leia.
Yeah.
As in Princess Leia.
Star Wars.
Look at that. The more you know.
The more you know. Big Star Wars guy, big Pokemon guy, you know, all those things.
You know, congratulations. This is your first Lollapalooza.
This is my first Lollapalooza. I'm stoked to be here.
You just got off stage. I mean, tell us about either prepping for it and then being on stage.
Yeah.
To prep for it, I went sober for the first time in a few years, a few weeks ago.
Okay.
I have been on vocal rest, talking in this tone for 2 weeks. I haven't sang since rehearsal, and I really took it seriously. I made sure I cut out dairy. I made sure I cut out soda. I've been drinking water for weeks.
Is that annoying? The fact that you have to cut out everything you like?
Very annoying. But, you know, I guess this weekend is when I kind of cut out dairy. But it's just so you don't have your vocal cords phlegmed up with, or coated with dairy products.
I need to do that.
You never think about all the preparation.
Not at all.
Now, your music. You've worked with Travis Barker before.
Yeah.
Okay, are you gonna catch Blink-182 set later?
I am. I'm gonna go to dinner after this, and then I'm gonna come back and I'll watch Pierce the Veil and Blink-182.
Those are the 2 bands I want to see as well. And I mean, working with Blink or Travis Barker from Blink, I mean, he's legendary. Has he ever given you good advice in the past to kind of prep you for your career?
I wouldn't say he gave me too much career advice, but I did do a live stream with him that we went and talked about love. So he gave me a little bit of advice about love, and that was very nice of him.
What was one of the tidbits that worked?
Yeah.
But what was one of the things that worked? You're like, okay, I'm gonna take that.
Yeah, he's single, so he's
so I'm trying to learn some things. So maybe Travis taught you, you can teach me.
So I guess the number one thing in a relationship is making sure you're on the same page and that you are never in an argument. If you're in an argument, at least be able to come to a solution.
Okay.
And he was talking to me about if your lady's upset, it's your fault. You have to be able to manhandle the problems in the relationship, because that is your job as a man. Otherwise the girl's not going to be happy, you know?
Right.
Until you fix it.
That's solid advice.
Right.
Thank you, Huddy, and thank you, Travis.
Yeah. You started, what I came to know you was from social media and TikTok, but what made you decide to get into music?
I was into music just from a very young age. I was always singing stuff. Even when I didn't know the words, I was singing stuff on the radio, and melody was always a big thing. I would write songs in the shower when I was a kid just for fun.
And what were you writing about in the shower when you were a child?
I don't know. It's some sort of love life I didn't have. I was an 8-year-old. I don't know. But it was never anything I wrote down. I was just in the shower just blurting things out, and I was like, hey, this is cool. But I was always into musicians, and my sisters are very into famous people. You know, they understand the lore of certain artists, and my sister taught me about One Direction. She was a huge One Direction fan. Had posters all over her wall. I was like, people are like this? And she was like, let me explain something to you, Chase. Yes, people love artists to another extent that they connect with them, and one thing about One Direction is they know how to talk to the girls.
They do, yeah.
And they killed that. And so she was really explaining it all to me, and it took about a year or two for me to come around to it. But when they showed me the One Direction movie, I was like, oh yeah, this is it. What are you talking about? Oh my gosh. And I was about 12 at the time. But once I started doing social media, I always used it as an outlet to connect to people, and I ultimately wanted to make it to LA and start making music.
And you've done it. And I mean, okay, so you've done social media, you're doing music, you're at Lolla, it's your first one. Will we see you acting in any movies or TV shows? I feel like
Maybe.
You are a multi-talented person, and I'm going to see you on the big screen at some point.
I want to be multifaceted. I want to try different things throughout my career. I think that there's a place for everybody, and for me, like, I think that like with music genres, there's also the movie genres that make sense for an actor, and I'm not much of an actor, but I would be able to see myself playing a character like someone in a horror film, or like an intense drama, or an action film. You know what I mean? Things that are intense, and I feel like that's very like me.
I could see you like doing like some '80s inspired movies.
Fuck
like
yeah.
you would. I think you would kill it. Like, do you know like the Coreys? Like from back in the day, like, you know, I mean, they were. You remind me of that for some reason. I don't know why, but I think you would kill it in like '80s movies.
I've actually had a few pitches about doing an '80s TV show.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's manifest that and make that happen.
Well,
Yep.
Huddy, thank you so much for joining us. Keep an eye out for Love Bites, your
Thank
EP that is out.
Woo! Thanks so
Yeah.
much, Huddy. 101.9
Check
The
it out.
Mix. Right on. Thank you so much.